Hey friends, welcome to another awesome WLOG. Super excited to have you all with me. This is, the video here is going to be a job that Frank and I did a few days ago. Really great job with a lot of great instructions, so I'm excited to share it all with you. And I am continuing with the voice-over WLOG. I think we've had a lot of great input on that. I really appreciate your guys' comments in the last few videos. They have been awesome, and I've really been growing in that. So again, like always, at the end of this video, leave me a comment in the comment section below with what your thoughts are on this video, and also some things that maybe that you liked or you didn't like on the video. I would absolutely love to hear it. A lot of times making these videos, they're really fun to do, and I really enjoy doing it. But ultimately, I want to help you guys. I want to show you guys what it looks like to run a handyman business, to maybe get you guys excited or share some information or maybe gather some information from you guys. So even if you guys just liked the video, just go ahead and just give me a thumbs up in the comment section. I would absolutely enjoy it. So let's get started on today's video. Alright, here's our job for today. We're going to install this attic ladder right here. We got Frank. Okay, so I'm gonna go inside and cut the four corners. Okay. So we're looking that way. Alright, so here we are up in the attic. One of the most important things about going in an attic is make sure you don't step through the drywall, obviously. But also kind of get your bearings straight. It's very easy to get kind of turned around in an attic and not know exactly the direction you're going into. So I always kind of walk around the house, take a look at the roof line before I go up in the attic. Let's see what we got. And then in this particular job, the biggest thing was just trying to figure out exactly where to cut the hole from above in the attic. Okay, I got it, I think. I was really bummed at myself because I had forgotten my my flashlight. I had it on the charger in the truck, and I forgot it when I came up, so I had to use my cell phone light. But so I was just going to cut the four corners, and then we were going to cut it from down below. But then I decided, why not just cut it from above? That would save getting dirty from down below. So Frank brought me up the hacksaw and a light, so I was able to cut it from above. Worked out really well. Basically just cut it in two sections here, and then he's going to be down below and just kind of, you know, grabbing the section as I cut it. Worked out really well. Was very pleased with this method. It all of a sudden got windy up here. Alright, once we got that first section cut out, I went ahead and cut the other section. Easy peasy, just like the first. And it was actually quite kind of interesting here at this house. They were double layer 5/8 sheetrock on the ceiling of the garage. So that was kind of interesting to see that there wasn't only one layer of 5/8 sheetrock, but two. I'll show you guys that here in a second. Got to get down here from the attic. Alright, got our hole in the ceiling cut out. So these rough measurements are 22 by 53 3/8. So that's roughly what we got. I didn't quite go as straight here. I went in a little bit just so we could kind of smooth it out. So obviously, as you gathered, the first step in installing an attic ladder is to obviously measure and cut the hole in the ceiling. And then I'm basically cutting some adder blocks that will go at the front and the back of the attic ladder. And right now I'm screwing those in just between the two joists. And then I'm bringing up a bucket of shims along with some screws and a drill, and then Frank is basically going to hand the attic ladder up to me. Alright, we got the attic ladder up in the attic. So Frank's going to put two 2x4s, one there, and then we're going to set the attic ladder on top of the 2x4s, square it all up, shim it up, screw it in. All right, and the whole purpose of putting these 2x4s up there is basically to allow us to sit the attic ladder back down on the 2x4 so that it sits flush with the ceiling. Then we can screw it in and shim it up, and it'd be a nice tight fit in the ceiling. Once we get those 2x4s put there, then it's time to put the attic ladder down into place so that it sits flush with the ceiling. And as you can see, those 2x4s really make it work out well, sitting flush with the ceiling there. I wanted to highlight my design of the car magnets, and then the yard signs were made by a guy on the Handyman Journey Mastermind group on Facebook. George Van Winkle Jr., and I just wanted to give a thanks out to him. If you guys are not part of our Handyman Mastermind group on Facebook, I would highly recommend you join that, as there is a wealth of information over there on Facebook. So the link will be in the description below. Alright, we're getting her screwed in. Man, the wind is crazy coming through these gaps here. Alright, we got screws here and screws over there. Frank's taking the 2x4 out, and we're going to lower it down. Alright, then once we got it all screwed in, basically we just have 4 screws, so it's not final screwed yet. We're going to go ahead and remove those 2x4s so that we can bring it down and make sure it opens correctly. Okay, go ahead and pull her down if you can. Or do I need to push it?
Push a little bit.
Oh, you got it. Alright, it's always important to make sure that it opens and closes correctly, and all the reveals look nice after you get a few screws in, because this would be the perfect time to adjust it. And here ours turned out great, so we went ahead and put some lags in there. Now we're getting ready to cut it to size. Okay, so we got this all put in place. We got lags up there. We shimmed it out so it fits in good. And so now, looking at this table, we took our measure distance Y from top to bottom, and then you look down here and it is 98 and a quarter, so we need to cut 27 and a quarter off the end of this guy. So in that table, to figure out how much you need to cut off of the end will come with every attic ladder, so you don't need to worry about looking that up, but it's very important to follow those directions. Because if you don't, basically you just cut it, too short or too long, and it'll kind of be a pain to get it exact. And then next step here is obviously to cut some trim to go around our attic ladder opening. We just got some regular door casing trim to kind of make it look nice and neat. So that's always kind of a good touch at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you don't really need anything around that attic ladder, but I think it looks very plain without some trim. So we decided to go that route, and every attic ladder we've ever installed, the customers really like how it turns out with the trim all around there. So just kind of a good touch. So that's what we're going ahead and doing. And so far the customer is very pleased with how this attic ladder is looking. Him and his kids have come out quite a few times asking and kind of seeing how things are going. The kids are real interested. They're kind of chomping at the bit to go up in the attic. And the dad said once we get finished, he'll let the kids go up there and see what's going on. He's going to be putting up I believe some 7/16 OSB plywood up in the attic. Not exactly sure what he'll end up going with. There's actually a not really refurbished, but kind of a second plywood and sheets good place around where we are at. So we gave him that information, so he's going to check that out and kind of see what the best price is, because when you're lining an attic, you don't necessarily need anything top-notch, just something that you won't fall through. So here we are, just basically brad nailing those trim pieces up. Everything's looking great. So the next step is to brad nail it all up and then caulk it and be done. Make sure everything looks good when you're all done, and that's about it. All right, we got our trim all up. Except I threw them up in the air and broke the corner off. My fault. I was trying to have fun. But it looks great. When you're doing trim work, caulking is your friend. So you saw that there was a chipped corner on that one trim. At the end of the day, when we finished this job, it turned out great because caulking was able to fix that up, and it looks perfect. So, you know, when you're doing trim, you don't got to worry too much about the gaps and things like that because caulking does cover over a lot. I mean, obviously, if you have huge gaps, you know, you maybe need to readjust your miter saw and redo some cuts. But in the grand scheme of things, you know, caulking takes care of a whole lot. So one little trick that we found while caulking, we actually heard from another contractor, is to use a sponge. You know, use your finger to kind of do the initial wipe and then use a sponge to come back through and kind of clean up all the finger lines on your caulking. It really makes things look good. Just a wet sponge, not super wet, but just kind of damp, and it really just kind of smooths things out and makes things look premier finished. So there's what Frank is doing right now, and just really makes things look good and leaves a nice finish on things. All right, here's our final deal for the attic ladder. Pull that guy down, pull this guy down, and then we're ready to go on up. So, turned out pretty nice. This is how it looks when it's down. And this is how it looks when it's up. All right, that was a great job, we got that attic ladder installed, and that was a 22.5 by I think 53 attic ladder. So because those were 24-inch on center joists up there in the attic. So the client's going to go ahead and put up some, I think he's going to put up some 7/16 OSB or something like that up there in the attic to make it so he can get all that stuff from the garage up in the attic. So and since then we've actually sold another attic ladder installation job, which is basically the same kind of setup there, you know, a few towns over from there, but we're going to go ahead and get started on that here shortly. So leave me a comment in the comment section below with what your guys' thoughts are on this video. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you haven't yet, check out handymanjourney.com. We got a free ebook over there that we would love to give you guys for free. Also, check that out. You guys can leave me an email on handymanjourney.com with any questions you guys might have or anything like that. So we'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.